TCL means Transaction Control Language. DCL means Data Control Language. This DTL is a completely different concept. It is not used by developers. It will be used by database administration people. DBA, database administration people. Anyhow, we are going to discuss about DCL also. When it comes to TCL, TCL is one of the important commands that we have in SQL. Here in TCL, we are going to have commands called commit, rollback, and save point. Save point. Commit, rollback, and save point. These are the commands that we have in SQL. These are the commands that we have in SQL. This transaction control language is used to control data manipulation language or to control DML commands. This transaction control language is used to control DML commands. What are the DML commands that we have in SQL? What are the DML commands that we have? Insert, update, and delete. Insert, update, and delete. What is the purpose of using this transaction control language? If we write any query fault by mistake, if we do any mistakes in the query, because if we want to delete someone's data and by mistake we deleted some other person's data, how to get back his data? How to get back the previous person's data or deleted person's data? By using transaction control language, we can do undo for any deleted data. We can do undo for any deleted data. For example, before using this transaction control language, we will use auto commit mode in SQL. We will use auto commit mode. We will use auto commit mode in SQL. Auto commit mode means whatever the query, whatever the DML command that we are using will be saved in SQL permanently automatically. If we execute it, it will be saved in SQL permanently.
Sir,
Yeah, man.
sir, in DML commands, you say ki we can undo the things after
Yeah.
dropping a table or after deleting a table. We
Truncating,
can undo that.
no. After dropping or truncating, we cannot undo. We can undo only insert, update, or delete.
Okay, sir.
DDL commands cannot be undone. We are using auto commit mode, which means whatever the DML commands that we are using, they are getting saved on database permanently. If you insert any value, that value is inserting database directly or permanently. We cannot control it. After inserting, we have to delete it again. We cannot control it. We cannot go back. If we delete any value, we cannot get it back because it is occurring permanently. Queries are applying on database permanently. Queries are applying on database permanently. Now, if we don't want to apply these queries permanently on the database, we don't want to apply queries on the database permanently, then what we have to do means, first we have to turn off this auto commit mode. Turn off it. To turn off anything in SQL, what we will do? We will write set auto commit is equal to 0. we will use equal to 0 to turn off anything in SQL. We are going to do the same thing. All of you open your workbench. Auto commit mode, what we will do means we will execute the query called set auto commit is equal to 0. Set auto underscore commit equal to 0. This query is used to turn off the auto commit mode. This query is used to turn off the auto commit mode. Turn off auto commit mode. Which means whatever the query which we are writing on database, whatever the DML commands that we are using on database will not be applied on database permanently, will not affect database permanently. They will be applied on database temporarily only. They will be applied on database temporarily only. If you delete any value, it will be deleted temporarily. What you want to do, if you want to apply it permanently, means you have to execute the command called commit. You have to execute the command called commit. Whenever you execute this particular called commit, it will save on the database all the DML commands which you used. Hello guys, am I audible to you? Hello guys, am I audible to you? Can anyone confirm by unmuting? Okay. If we execute the command called commit, then these DML commands will be applied on database permanently. These DML commands will be applied on database permanently. If we don't give commit, they will be applied only temporarily. Because we turn off auto commit mode. Which means auto saving mode or automatically applying on database permanently. We turn off that particular process. Here, for starting this transaction control language, first we have to, after turning off this auto commit mode, first we have to use the query called start transaction. Start transaction. If you write this particular query, it will start the transaction control language. Start transaction is the query which is used to start the transaction control language. After starting the transaction, before this, we will turn off the auto commit mode. First, we will turn off the auto commit mode. After that, we will start transaction. After starting the transaction, we will write queries. Like this, we will write some sequence of queries one by one after starting the transaction control language. This queries should be DML queries. It might be insert, update, or delete. We can use any of these queries. After writing all these queries, we will cross check them. These will be applied just temporarily. These will be all these queries will be applied only temporarily. We will cross check them. We will cross check them once again whether we inserted correct values or whether we updated correct values or whether we deleted correct values. And please be in mute. Online participants, be in mute. We will check whether the all values are inserted or updated or deleted correctly, and they are applied already temporarily. If everything is correct, if everything is correct, if everything is correct, what we have to do means we have to execute the command called commit. We have to execute the command called commit. Guys, please be in mute. Otherwise, if someone is watching recorded video, it will be a lot of disturbance for them. If you execute any query after turning off auto commit mode and after starting this transaction control language, if you write n number of queries, all these queries will be applied only temporarily. All these queries will be applied only temporarily. We will cross check the queries. We will cross check the queries one more time. And if all the queries are correct, if we find that all the queries are correct, then we will use the command called commit, which is used to save the queries permanently on database, which are used to save queries on database permanently. We turned off auto commit mode. If we execute the command called commit, then only query will get saved on the database permanently. Otherwise, they will be executed just temporarily. Now, if everything is correct, we will execute the command called commit. What if there is some mistake in query number 3? We found one error in query number 3. They are temporarily saved. We found some error in query number 3. Error or mistake. Manual error. Then what we have to do means instead of deleting one person data, I deleted some other person data. What we have to do to get back his data, we have to do a command. We have to execute a command called rollback. Rollback. We have to execute the command called rollback. This rollback command is used to do undo in SQL. Undo. I think all of you have idea on undo. If you did any mistake, if you deleted any value by mistake, and if you want to get back it, we can do undo and we can get back. Like that, if we do any mistake in the queries, in DML queries after starting transaction control language, and if you want to undo them, you can use the command called rollback. You can use the command called rollback. If you use the command called rollback after query number 5, rollback. We executed all 5 queries. They are executed temporarily. We found that query there is some error in some mistake in query number 3, and we have to undo. That's why we did rollback. If we did rollback in SQL, what it is going to do means it is going to undo all the queries from beginning. After start transaction, whatever the queries you wrote, all the queries are going to be undo. Will undo all the queries. Then what you will do? You will modify this query number 3 and you will re-execute all the queries one by one. You will re-execute all the queries one by one. Here if every query is correct, we have to use the command called commit. If there is any mistake or error in the query, we have to use the command called rollback to undo. But rollback will undo all the queries which we wrote after start transaction. Rollback will
Sir,
undo.
can you write a query of
Yeah,
commit and rollback?
I will write. This workbench is not opening in my system. After completing this theoretical concept, I will restart my laptop and I will write the query. Okay, I will show how to write the query.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Here, for example, in real-time work, after starting transaction control language, let us suppose you wrote 500 queries. Suppose this is not query number 1, it is 1 to 100. This is query 1 to 100. Queries 1 to 100. This is queries 101 to 200. Consider it is up to 300, it is up to 400, it is up to 500. Like this, you wrote 500 queries continuously. Now, if you do rollback, it will undo all the 500 queries. Even if you have a mistake in one single query, it will undo all the 500 queries. Then what you have to do? You have to modify that single query and you have to re-execute all the 500 queries. Once again. It will be very difficult to re-execute all the 500 queries once again. And SQL servers also will get very busy if you are executing hundreds of queries at the same time once again. Now, here the logic is, for suppose you are moving from Bangalore to Hyderabad with some work. You have some IT related work in Hyderabad. You are moving from Bangalore to Hyderabad. You have some PPT presentation in Hyderabad. You are traveling by bus. In between, there are some intermediate points, some intermediate stations. You are traveling from Bangalore to Hyderabad, and in between, there are some intermediate points. After starting from Bangalore, you crossed from Bangalore and you are in some midpoint. In bus. You are going to reach Kadapa soon, which is some intermediate point. After that, next station will be Kurnool. At last, you will reach your destination called Hyderabad. Now, after crossing the Bangalore, you recognize that you forgot the laptop. There is some issue with you. You forgot laptop. What will you do? You will go to Hyderabad and will you return back to Bangalore to take the laptop? Or you will get dropped near Kadapa itself. Kadapa is the nearest station to you. You will drop near the nearest station. And you will go back to Bangalore and bring the laptop. What can you do? What can you do? Will you go to Bangalore? Because you have that PPTs in your laptop and you forgot the laptop and you are going to Hyderabad. You recognize that you forgot laptop after bus crossed the station.
You are not getting. Okay.
Please be in mute, Krish.
No.
It is better to get dropped in nearby station and we can go back to Bangalore and we can bring back the laptop. If you are reaching Hyderabad and if you want to return back to Bangalore and if you want to go back to Hyderabad by taking laptop, it is a lot of time consuming process and it will take lot of your efforts. You have to do journey all this distance unnecessarily and you have to return this journey unnecessarily. Now, if you get dropped near Kadapa, you can go back from Kadapa itself. You can go back from Kadapa to Bangalore and you can return from Bangalore to Hyderabad once again. Here you are going back only one single destination and you will return back to Hyderabad by taking laptop as usual. Here you have to go to two more destinations unnecessarily. You have to travel more distance unnecessarily and you have to return those distance also without any use. Your work burden will increase a lot unnecessarily. Now we have one command called save point for this. Save point. If we have any mistake in the query number 400 or 450, here you have some mistake in the query number 450. If you roll back all the queries from query number 1 will be undo. Only for one mistake, it is not good to undo all 500 queries, right? That's why we are going to have a command called save point. What we will do means we will write save point A, save point, and we will give some name to it. Save point is nothing but of intermediate point or intermediate stations. Save point A. After that, save point B. After 100 queries, I give save point B. Save point B. Like this, save point C. Save point C. Save point D. Save point D. Save point E. Like this, we will write save points after each few queries. We will write save points after few queries. Now, what we can do means, if we found any mistake, after in between 400 to 500 queries, in between 400 to 500 queries, I found some mistake. From after 400 up to 500 query, I am writing under save point D, before save point E. Then what can I do means, I can just write roll back to D, roll back to D, roll back to D, roll back to D. What this query will do means, instead of undoing all the commands, instead of doing undo for all the commands from command number 1, it will undo up to save point D only. Wherever you wrote save point D, up to that particular point only, it will undo the query. All the previous queries which are written before save point will be saved as usual, will be temporarily applied as usual. All queries which are written before save point are temporarily are saved as usual, are temporarily applied. Only the queries which are present after the save point will be undone. If you undo up to D, from query number 400 to 500, it will undo all these 100 queries. Will undo all these 100 queries. Now, if you execute only 100, if you rectify the error and if you execute only these 100 queries, it is enough. Instead of executing all 500 queries, we can re-execute only these 100 queries. And if everything is correct, we can give the command called commit. We can give the command called commit. This is the process. Now, we have one more type of command language called, this is transaction control language. I will show you in Workbench. We have one more type of command language called DCL, data control language, which will be used by database administrators, which is not used by developers. Anyhow, we are going to discuss about this topic. If we want to do it practically, we have to be learning these database administration related things. We have to learn DBA related things. 1 minute, guys. Here we have two commands called grant and revoke. Grant and revoke. Here we will have two commands called grant and revoke. This grant command is used to give privilege to the user. Privilege or permission to user. What this database administration people will be keep on doing means, for example, some new employee came to the company to work on the database or to work on SQL. He joined as a SQL developer. Who will give him permissions on SQL? This database administration people or DBA people are going to give permission to the users. And we have something called revoke. Revoke is used to take back the privilege or take back the permission. Take back permission. If some user is relieving from company, or he is moving out of the company, or he is removed from the company, then the first thing we have to do is we have to take back his permissions. Otherwise, if you have any angriness on the company, what he can do, he can truncate all the tables and he can go. Otherwise, he can drop few tables and he can go. We cannot, if we don't have any backup server, we cannot get back that data. That's why we have to take back that permissions whenever we are removing any employee from the company. These two things will be done by the person called database administrator. Database administrator. Also, we can call it as call him as admin. Admin. Here we have to learn about two things called privilege, object, objects, and person. Person is normal thing for whom we are giving the permission like that. Privilege means what are the things that you are going to permit him? What are the things that you are going to permit him? For example, here you will have commands, whether it is select, whether it is insert, whether it is update, like that. What permission do you want to give him? What permission do you want to give him? Objects means on which table or on which view or on which stored procedure. Table, views, or stored procedures, whatever you want. All these are called database objects, right? All the database objects. If you want to give permission on all the things directly, you have to give all. We have something called all. If you give all, it will give permission on all the things. Here, you will have something called person name, our username @ of host name, server name, server name. If you write stored procedures and if you save them, you will get something called definer root at the rate of localhost. You will get something at the definer root at the rate of localhost. Root means here you are the system user which don't have any server or which don't have any multiple users, only root user, and he is working on localhost, which means local system. Your server is installed in local system. If you are connecting to any other servers, your username will be something. They will be giving you some username. Maximum it will be your name only. Like Tharun at the rate of, and I will write server name, whatever the name of that particular server. Server name. I have to write it. For example, here if I want to give permission to some particular person, what I want to do means what command I need to execute means I have to write grant to give permission to someone. And after that, we have to mention this privilege, which permission we are going to give. Select on, grant select on. After on, you have to mention on which object you are going to give the permission. On which object you are going to give permission. For example, if you are giving permission only on tables, few tables, you have to mention the table name. Account details, comma, transaction details, for whom you are giving the permissions. For you have to write his name. For example, if you are giving for Tharun at the rate of server name, Tharun at the rate of, and you have to give server name. What SQL will do means it will give permissions for Tharun and select query only for these two tables. He can execute only select query on these two tables. Except select query, he cannot execute anything. If you want to take back the permission, you have to write revoke select. Let us try this transaction control language in our workbench. The first thing we have to do is we have to set auto commit is equal to 0. Sorry, before that, let me complete this thing which we are writing. To give permission to the user, we have to write grant select on, and we have to, as we are giving tables, we have to mention tables here. Sorry. Grant select on table, account details, comma, transaction details for the user. You have to give username and the server name. If you want to take back those permissions, you have to write grant select from grant select on table. Sorry. Grant select on table, account details, comma, transaction details from that particular user.
Hello?
If you grant the permission, the user will get access to write select query on account details table and transaction details table. If he is able to write the select query means he is able to see the data which is present in account details and transaction details table. He is able to see the data which is present in account details table and transaction details table. If you don't want to give him permission to see the data present in account details and transaction details table, Then you have to write revoke select on table account details comma transaction details from Tharun at the rate of server name. If you give this username for this user, select permission will be removed on these two tables. Two tables. If you want to give insert permission, you have to write grant insert on table account details comma transaction details for Tharun at the rate of server. Like that, whatever the permission you want to grant, you have to write grant command, and you have to give the privilege which you are giving him access on specified object, which object, which might be table, view, stored procedure, whatever it might be, on object name. After that, you have to choose the objects. You have to choose the objects on which objects you are giving. If you just mention on table for Tharun at the rate of server name, it will give access for all tables present in that particular server. Otherwise, you have to mention table name for Tharun at the rate of server name. That then it will give access only for the specified tables which you mentioned here. Grant is used to give permission to the end user. If you take back that permission, or if you want to remove that permission, you have to write revoke select. We gave select permission. Now I am taking back that select permission. Revoke select on table account details comma transaction details from Tharun at the rate of server name. From username at the rate of server name. If you give this particular command, it will take back that particular permissions from the user. Now let us try this transaction control language in our workbench. The first thing which we have to do is we have to select the database. After selecting the database, we have to set auto commit is equal to 0. Auto underscore commit equal to 0. Set auto commit is equal to 0, and you have to click on control enter. No system variable auto underscore commit. Try auto commit directly, because it will vary from application to application. Yeah, it is normal auto commit. Underscore is not there. Set auto commit is equal to 0. Set auto commit is equal to 0. After turning off this auto commit mode, we have to start the transaction control language. We have to start the transaction control language. For that, we have to execute start transaction. Start transaction. Start transaction. After starting transaction control language, now let me execute select star from account details once. Select star from account details. Account details. Account details. I got 11 values. I got 11 values. I got sequence of 11 values. And for the account ID 11, I think I don't have any child value. I think I don't have any child value for account ID 11. And I will try to delete the value called account ID 11 details. I will try to delete the details of account ID number 11, whose name is Suma. Delete from account details where account ID equal to 11. Delete from account details where account ID is equal to 11. If I execute this particular query, that particular account ID 11% details got deleted. If I execute select star from account details, I have only 10 people now. Account ID 11% details got deleted. I don't now, after deleting the value, I realized that we should not delete account ID 11 details. I want those details back. Now what I want to do means I have to just execute rollback. 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 We have to just execute rollback. Write rollback and click on Control Enter. What it will do means it will undo all the queries up to start transaction. Wherever we started the transaction control language, up to that particular start transaction, it will undo all the queries, all the DML queries which we wrote in between. We wrote only one DML query which is called delete. We deleted account ID 11 details. It will undo it. Undo it means we will get back the account ID 11 details. Let us check by executing select star from account details. See, account ID 11% details we got them back. For example, after that, let me give commit and let me execute it. Commit will save it permanently. We'll close the transaction permanently. Let me start one more transaction. And let me execute select star from account details in this transaction control language. Select star from account details. Here I want to change the account ID 5% name Kiran to Kiran Kumar. His name is Kiran. I want to change it to Kiran Kumar. What I can do? I can write a update query. Update account details. Account details. Update account details. Set name is equal to Kiran Kumar. Set name is equal to Kiran Kumar. Where set name is equal to Kiran Kumar. Where account ID is equal to 5. Account ID equal to 5. I want to change his name to Kiran Kumar. Before doing this, I will write a save point further. Save point A. I will name it as save point A, which means first save point or first starting point, first intermediate point. After that, I will execute this update query. If I execute select star from account details, see his name is changed to Kiran Kumar. After that, I will write save point B. Save point B. We can also write multiple queries under each save point. I am writing one query just to show you how this save point will work. Now what I am doing is, after save point B, I will execute this save point B also. After save point B, now I want to delete the details of account ID number 11. Actually, we have details of account ID number 11 as we undo after doing previous query. Now I want to delete the details of account ID number 11. I executed the query. Delete from account details where account ID equal to 11. Now if I execute the table, select star from account details, two queries got executed. Name is changed to Kiran Kumar and account ID 11 details got deleted. Now what I want to do means, I just want to roll back this delete query. I want account this update name update as usual. I don't want to change, but I want to remove this undo this delete query, because by mistake I deleted his details and I want to undo it. What I can do is roll back to B. I have to write roll back to save point B. Roll back to B. If I execute this particular query, this update query will be executed as usual. Kiran Kumar will be applied as usual. But this delete query only will be undo. It will undo only up to save point B. All the queries which are written above this save point B, before this save point B, will be saved as usual. All the queries which are written before this save point will be saved as usual. If I execute rollback to B, it will undo only this delete query. If I execute select star from account details, see account ID 11% details I got, but this Kiran Kumar is changed as usual. This update query is applied as usual. After that, I will just execute commit to save it permanently. This is how we can utilize save point, and we can undo only specified queries instead of doing undo for all the queries which we wrote. Okay, and this, if we want to execute this data control language, this is for database administrators. This is completely a different concept. We need to have a server and we need to have multiple users on that server. Just remember this query syntax: grant and privilege on database objects, which database object you want to give permission, the database object names for user, and from while revoking from user, revoke and that specified privilege on object and object names from user. You have to do these two things while giving grant is used to give permission to the user, and revoke is used to take back the permission from user. These are the commands that we missed. After this,